What up? Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Mel, to Coach's Corner. How are you doing today, my
I
lady?
am good. I am very good. Looking forward to the public holiday. So having all the fields there and doing really well. Otherwise, I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you, man. It's been a while since we spoke, man. It's nice to catch up. Like as what I love about Coach's Corner, even though like everyone else is getting to know you, it's a nice opportunity for us to get to know each other a little bit better. Because as with the mad rush of Jeff, we don't often get a chance to just sit down and be like, let's just have a casual conversation.
No, absolutely. Coach Samo and I actually do those quite regularly, but not with the rest of the Jeff team always. So it's nice to have this. I love it.
Awesome, awesome. Let's acknowledge the people coming in. Auntie Pat, hello, hello, and good afternoon. Leslie, hello, good afternoon. Amy in the building, and Nicole, how you guys doing? I'm guessing I'm going to see a couple of y'all when I head into Cape Town next week. I just found out, so I'm coming back.
Good.
I'm feeling like a bit of a jet setter. I'm in and out all the time now. It's crazy.
You are quite the jet setter.
Which is actually weird. Like I actually despise traveling. Like I absolutely hate traveling. I'm like I've said this quite a bit. Like I'm introverted, so I'm like I need to be in my sanctuary and like in my space. And now if I'm traveling, it means I'm outside my space, and it takes energy, you know.
It does. It adds to that social anxiety a little bit.
It's always like, oh, like who am I gonna? Is some like a nightmare fuel for me? Is if I know I'm gonna head into a social interaction, it's okay. It's the ones where I'm like randomly standing in line to board the plane, and some friendly person ahead of me wants to have a casual conversation. I'm like, yo, I wasn't mentally prepared for this guy.
I'm that friendly person behind you going, hi, how are you?
Like, hey, you also going to Cape Town? Like, I'm like, oh, like I don't want to be rude, but my social battery was on power save mode, and now you're asking me to switch it back on.
You should just respond in some foreign language and be like,
I'm too nice a person. Like I have to like interact back. But it's oftentimes like, yo, like I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared. And sometimes I will respond back like really like low energy. And then in my head I'm like, oh, that came off as a little bit rude. And now I'm like, do they think I'm rude now? And now I'm socially anxious thinking about what they're thinking about. And I'm like, oh, this is a nightmare. Why did you say hello to me?
And you're having this mental anxiety and it's all going at 100 kilometers an hour. It's so weird.
Crazy, huh? Before we get too into it, Leslie's asking, when am I coming to Durban? When am I coming to Durban? I have no idea. Is that an invitation? Is that an invitation? We might be able to make something happen. I don't know. Gabby is saying hello to Tanyelle is saying hello to both of us. Hello, hello. Auntie Pat, are you a homie? What do you mean, am I a homie? I am a homie, but like, what do you mean, am I a homie? But anyway, enough about me. Melissa, how are things on your side, man? How are you coping with the last 90 days towards the end of 2021?
I actually cannot believe my kids said to me the other day they need to do stuff for school for spring day. And I was like, no, but that's only in September. And my eldest was like, yes, that's tomorrow. And I said to my husband, the year just caught up with me. I can't believe there's 3 months left. And sure, it's insane how quickly the year went. And I'm looking forward to the last 3 months. It's been an incredible 9 months at Jeff. So going at 100 kilometers an hour, but it's been good. Have been loving it. And I'm excited about the last 3 months to finish off strong and still get a couple of clients on board to go into 2020 looking and feeling good. So I'm excited, I think.
Nice, man. I always find this time of year, it's really easy to fall into that trap of like, just go into power save mode and just coast out the end of the year. But I'm like, dude, there's still like 25% of the year left. Like you can do an incredible amount with the time we have left. I was saying this morning during my little Buffalo Soldier session how it's you today can decide who you want to be when you enter 2022. Instead of setting a New Year's resolution and waiting until then, like whoever that person is in your mind that you want to be, start today and walk into the new year being that person already. You know?
Yeah, start now. And I absolutely agree with you. Why wait until then? And it's like I said to someone yesterday.
Well, is your audio cutting out on just my side, or is that for everyone?
Oh goodness.
You got all raspy there for a second.
Oh goodness, am I back now?
Okay, wait. Let me ask Henny if that's a me problem or us problem. Meanwhile, Auntie Pat say, yes, I am a homebody. I like being at home. I like doing my thing. Elzon, hello in the building. Henny is saying, no, it's just on my side. Okay, it's a me problem. What I'm going to do, you keep saying, you finish that sentence. I'm going to pop out and pop back in. That should solve the problem.
Yeah, sorry, that little bit got mumbled up there. If you don't mind to repeat. Oh gosh, I think we've lost Edgar. But I see Leslie, you say that you can hear me, and Pat, you're absolutely right. Saying 2020. I think that's such a good way of thinking about it. And if 2021 wasn't really your year, then make 2022 your year and start right now. I think it's incredible. And it's so important also to not lose steam at the end of the year as you've been progressing, and to think, oh, but I've been working so hard. I just need a little bit of time off. It's always important to say, you've been working hard, so now's not the time to get tired. Now's the time to be more focused and to regain your focus and have a strong mindset and work towards 2020 you. I like that very much. I think I'm going to incorporate that. So thank you so much, Auntie Pat. Lisa Marie, how are you? Who seems to have lost Edgar for a little bit, but I'm sure he'll join a little bit. Are there any Mel's movers in here? I wonder. Everyone seems to be so busy at the end of the year. Well, seeing that it's only me, we can just have a little bit of a chat and maybe talk about 2021. How has 2021 been for all of you? What are you looking forward to 2022? What will you be doing differently than you did this year? Like I said to Ed, it's been such a crazy year this year, and it's gone so fast. I can't believe it's almost a year for me at Jeff as a coach. It has been absolutely incredible. So where are you guys all from in the comments? Let me know. Auntie Pat, aren't you from Durban, I think, if I can remember? Ah, there we go.
I have returned.
That was a bit of social anxiety there for you, chatting to myself.
I will admit the monologue version of this whole going live thing, it takes a little bit of getting used to. Luckily, I like the sound of my own voice. That's actually a lie, but I pretend to like the sound of my own voice. So, but you get used to it with time.
No, I said now, if you look back over the year, what are you going to be doing differently next year? And what have you learned from this year? And so I was just asking everyone. I see we've got people here from PE and KZN, Paul, so many incredible places. So that was just a little bit from my soliloquy that you had missed, Edgar.
That is awesome, actually. We have Brenda saying, I'll be living in another country, sadly. What's sad about that? That's freaking awesome. But I'll definitely continue with Jeff. I mean, you're traveling the world, man. Like, I would love to see the rest. I mean, the world is so big, man, and time on this planet is so limited. Like, if you get the chance to live somewhere else, that is amazing. Right. Go for it. Do your thing. Explore, experience new things. Stay true to you, and always stay true to your goals and attack what you want to attack. But explore, man. See the world. Like, I would love to.
Oh, I see Brenda's going to Australia. I'm actually getting a client from Australia, which I'm very excited about.
That is awesome. I had two from Aussie, a husband and wife combo. The two of them were absolutely brilliant. Mad results. We made the whole time difference work. It takes a little bit of maneuvering, but totally possible. Totally thing.
Absolutely. I've got a client from Bermuda, so they're the opposite to Australia, and we just make it work. And that's what's nice about everything being virtual. You just work around it, and you make the time that you have together, you make it count. Like, we have a good chat every day, and then we move on, which is cool.
It was oftentimes, it was actually crazy. So what I would do is, because I'm normally up at like 4:35 in the morning anyway. So I'm like, okay, just because of the time difference, when I wake up and go do my cardio, I would like do my communications with them, see what's up, because around about 5 a.m. for me was their late morning.
Yeah.
And then when I started work properly with everyone else, I'm like, okay, let's touch base again. We're heading to your late afternoon. And then as I would clock out, it'll be like my morning message to them. And we worked on a whole system. Eventually, it all worked out. It just took a little maneuvering.
I'm taking notes.
But I find, I don't know. I think that the guys who are international, especially the time zone difference, in my experience, they tend to do better because it's harder for them to connect with their coach. So every conversation is super meaningful. Absolutely. It's like there's something about that where like, oh, I'm not gonna fuff around. Like, if I don't get today right, it'll be a couple hours until I can get access to my coach again. So I have to make sure I get the day right. I find they tend to do it a little bit better.
Absolutely. That's been my experience as well. If I think about it, they just make every single minute count, and that's so true.
And that's how I feel about the rest of the year. It's like this, like, even though it's like there's 25% of the year left, and that's a lot of time to do a lot, it also simultaneously means 75% of the year is behind us. So it's like you gotta make the time you do have left count. So it's like that whole. Everyone knows I'm a huge Marvel fan. So the Loki series just aired and ended. And one of Loki's lines is he's burdened with glorious purpose. So I've been using that for me. It's like I'm burdened with glorious purpose. There's things I got to do, and it's difficult at times, but it's glorious in the sense that if you get over that hill to the other side of the things you have to do, there's a massive reward at the end of it, which is how I like seeing. It's how I like to frame life these days. It can be hard day to day, like right now with me prepping for nationals and stuff. Like I'm not gonna lie, I am stretched very thin.
Yeah.
But I know it's like I'm stretched really thin for something that's amazing. Like on competition day, I'm not gonna be thinking about how stretched I felt leading up to it. I'm gonna enjoy the day, gonna compete well, and I'm going to enjoy the fruits of my own efforts, no matter what the result is. So it's just being able to like not get bogged down by the day-to-day stuff and just keep the big picture in mind, you know?
And it's also like my husband always says, if you're faced with a mountain, you just do it one foot in front of the other, and the view from the top is always worth it. So it's always just keeping that in mind and thinking, it might be hard now, but it's that glorious feeling that you're holding on to. And I said to someone the other day, we're 75% into the year. So by now you should know what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, what you need to change going into 2022. But also keep in mind with December and end of year functions and holidays and everything, it's almost a month lost, which is also a little bit scary because everyone sort of goes into the holiday mode a little bit before at the start of December.
I love that analogy, the view at the top. The view at the top. Just think about the view at the top. But tell us more about your family dynamic. Like, so it's you and your husband. Do you have any little ones running around?
We do. We have 3. So I am also a mom, head chef, and sometimes referee, umpire between the 3 siblings. I've got 2 boys and a girl. The little girl is my lot, Lamiki. My eldest is 13. He's going to high school next year to a boarding school, which my mom heart is a little bit sad, but I'm excited for him and the school and that he's going to and the opportunities. And yes, we live in a small little town, and I absolutely hate it and love it at times because it's got the best of both. I was driving the other day, and a herd of cattle crossed the road, and I was like, that's traffic for you.
That is brilliant. It reminds me of where I grew up. Because that was like it's a way of life. Like, okay, the cows are gonna decide how long they're gonna take now. Cool, we'll just sit here, we'll wait.
Yeah, I was like, okay. And then the traffic guys came past, and they knew me from when I was working at the newspaper, and they're like, "Hello, Mel, how are you?" And I was like,
Oh, that is absolutely brilliant. But tell me, how do you balance being a busy professional mom, a mom, a wife? How do you balance that with your own health and fitness? Because I find a lot of people, it's the lack of time, the inability to juggle all these balls at once that normally gets most people. So what balance have you found for yourself?
You know, it's tough, but it's a big international client that you said just now. It's managing your time and making the most of your time. I've started training for a half Ironman next year, which is as the training picks up, it's or increasing. It's difficult to find that time, but I also believe we're all given 24 hours in a day, and it's what you make of it. And the time that I spend with my kids, I make sure it's meaningful, and I try and do my absolute best to keep their love tanks full. And in the evenings when my husband comes home, I try not to be like, "Oh, I'm so anxious," or the kids are being insane, and just like, "Hi, how was your day?" "Oh, it was good." And then after he's wound down a little bit, then I'll share with him how the day went. But I think it's just about managing your time and doing the best that you can. Like some days, I don't get to do everything that I need to do with my own training, and I make up for it. And you just take your day, and I've learned also not to get too anxious or to sweat the small stuff, to just do my absolute best every day. And if I feel good at the end of the day about what I had accomplished with work, with kids, then I'm happy.
That is awesome. I like that whole not sweating the small stuff. I find for me, I like to ask myself the question. It's as annoying as whatever it is. Like, will this matter 24 hours from now? Will this matter a week from now? And typically, if the answer is no, then I'm like, then it doesn't really matter now. Just get over it. It is what it is. Move on.
Absolutely. And just know, like, tomorrow, then I know I need to do a little bit better, and I try and do a little bit better. Or it's important to learn from your mistakes also. And like I said, to not sweat the small stuff, and to enjoy the good stuff, and just do your best. And like, if I've got a spare minute, I'll go for a run, or I'll get onto the bike and do a little bit of a cycle. And it's all about planning also. So I think planning is key as well.
That is awesome. I see Brenda saying that she struggles with the nutrition side of things. So, like, how do you sort of structure nutrition in your household for you and your family? Like, what's your approach to tackling that for you?
Well, we eat the Jeff way, so I make sure that we get all of our macronutrients and everything in. And what I'd like to do is take a little bit of time over a weekend and just do a bit of meal planning, especially with everything going so fast, and wanting to make sure that my kids are fed properly before going to school, and then make sure that they get a good lunch, because we all home together for lunch, which is absolutely we're very fortunate. And then to just make sure that we're doing the best that we can with the meals, and to just do my meal prep and planning as much as I can to save time for myself. And I have a few recipes that are go-to recipes that are favorites that I'll do quickly, and to just do my best.
That's actually like, having those go-to recipes. I find for me, because like I said, like I've been a fatty from like day one. Like I was born at like 4.5 kilos, and I never looked back. So I find for me, like my what's been a success for me is always having a plan. Like I don't ever let myself be reactive when it comes to food, because 9 times out of 10 I will make a bad call. So I try and be like, okay, like I try and meal prep as often as I can, plan a couple meals in advance, have a couple go-tos, like when in doubt, this is the meal I'm going to go to. I know I enjoy it. I know it's in line with what I need to do. So I find for me, like if I can plan ahead of time, 9 times out of 10, it's probably going to be a successful week for me. It's as soon as you let yourself be reactive. I like saying, like, my intuition when it comes to food absolutely sucks. Like if I'm hungry in the moment, KFC and a donut sounds like the most magical thing in the world. So my intuition's off. So it's like I try and use my logic over intuition.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You should never make an emotional decision, and that's what I say to my clients also, is like, when you have to think about whether you're going to do a workout, then you're halfway lost the battle. You don't think about it, just do it. And like if you open my fridge, it's stocked with, so I try and keep healthy things in the fridge and in the pantry so that the options are limited, so to prevent that also, but to also have a bit of a balance. And I find that the weeks that I'm prepped and ready for the week and I've taken the guesswork out of it, it goes much better, because if I've got to start prepping something, it's going to be, and when it's something quick, 9 out of 10 times it's not that healthy. But so yeah, I have those quick meals that I whip up.
I have a really good friend of mine staying with me for a couple of weeks. And so I have like, because I gotta stay by myself, so I have a system. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't keep any treats in the house at all. On none of the ones that are my weaknesses anyway. So like if like chocolates and stuff like that, I can like stare at for weeks on end and not be tempted. But like biscuits or confectionaries, those are my go-tos. So I have a system with me, and I've worked out with my coach. Is I'm allowed one sort of treat at the end of the day. But like that treat, I need to physically walk to the grocery store, get a single serving, walk back, and have that last thing in the day. So once I've eaten it, it's like, okay, there's none left, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah.
Whereas now with her here, she has a little snack stash. And now I'm like, it's in the house. I know where it is.
And
I know she won't be mad if I take a little bit. So I'm struggling with that a little bit now.
No, that's tough, but you must find ways not to think about it, because if you think about it, it's there, then you're going to find all sorts of excuses. You've had a rough day, or it's been, I deserve it.
Yeah. It's always, if you've had a rough day, man, you only live once, cut yourself some slack. And I'm like, that's not the slack you should be cutting yourself.
I find that, like, because I love chocolate, and so I can finish a slab very easily by myself, and I always thought, having a block of dark chocolate, I'll never be able to. But the last couple of weeks, I've been really good just having my little dark block of chocolate, and it's amazing what that can do at the end of the day. It's just that little bit of a treat, and I can't wait to jump into bed and to have my little block of chocolate. It's weird, but it works.
I find it's just learning to hack your own habits, because I do the exact same thing. I know if I know I have that to look forward to at the end of the day, I'm going to be on plan the rest of the day. Because like, man, you'll give in to whatever craving you have later. Just wait till the end of the day. Yeah. And it's always after dinner while in bed, because now I'm like, you're already in bed, dude. Just switch the light off and go to sleep.
Yeah. Do you really want to get out of bed?
Like, dude, you're all nice and warm and cuddly and everything. Your night routine's done. Just have your little treat, switch off, go to sleep, wake up the next day, reset.
That's all there is to it, and don't think about it. I see Catherine says her pantry is Jefferized. But it's amazing.
That is amazing what the kids who come up with homemade treats. I will admit, having kids must be a curveball, man. Like I can imagine having like, because you don't want to overly restrict them too, because kids need to be kids. But I can imagine it's a little bit more difficult when you have like, I'm eating a certain meal and I'm enjoying it, and the kids are eating somewhat what you're eating, but maybe a little bit less weight loss focused, or a little bit less with a goal specifically, so they allow a little bit more relaxation. So I can imagine like finding a balance between feeding your kids and feeding yourself can be a little bit tricky, eh?
What I did with my kids, and I think it helps with them being a little bit older, so I had a chat with them, and I said, I would like for you to eat this way too, and the reasoning behind it is it's an investment in your health, and you're going to thank me when you are grown-ups, and you're going to be used to living or eating a healthy way. So we incorporate the principle of eating clean and having treats within moderation. And I find it's also like Coach Sands is amazing with sending recipes. So the other day she sent me those date balls and chocolate balls, and finding good healthy alternatives, and like those blender muffins that Kim did, and finding good ways of saying, healthy food can be delicious, and we can have those little treats every now and again. So I think it's just making them feel a part of it as well, and incorporating it as much as you can over a period of time, because kids are more active, so they can do with more carbs or whatever. but just
Yeah.
finding a good balance and knowing and telling them that this is for their health as well, and it's for 10 years from now or 15 years from now, and it's an investment. And but if you have little kids, you can do so from a young age.
Yeah, I find it's from the parents I've worked with and the people I've chatted to, it's like trying to like instill those values in them young so that they grow up having them, as opposed to, oh, I could eat whatever I wanted to until you reach 23, 24, 25, and your body no longer responds to that, and then you pick up weight, and now you're trying to undo your entire life's worth of eating habits. You're now trying to undo because they've finally caught up with you. So it's like finding a way to like learn young that, no, this is what the human body is meant to feed off. This is what good nutrition looks like. And then you avoid some of the steps we've had to go through. You can help them avoid some of those pitfalls, you know?
And that's what I say often is, if your kids see you working out and doing your best with your nutrition, then you are showing them and you are gifting them a healthy relationship with food. And it's so often I experience that people have an unhealthy relationship, and it's one extreme to the next. And when you give that to your children, to have a healthy relationship, that you can have your treats within moderation, then it's a gift that keeps on giving, and they'll thank you, maybe not now, but when they at varsity, or when, because there's so much pressure on them socially that it's tough. And I say to them, it's a gift that you give to your children. You know how hard it is to undo all of those bad habits that you've built up over the years. But I think it's important that we have these discussions with our kids.
Yeah, man, it's just setting them up right. But like, to get the focus back to you. So how is your half Ironman? You said half Ironman, hey? How's the training going?
Yes, no, I won't be able to do a full Ironman, not now. The training's going well. I'm enjoying it. It's nice because it's swimming, cycling, and running. And I think it's a nice little bit of a stretch and a challenge. And it's going well. It's on track.
That's good. When is the competition date?
I'm doing the one in Durbs next year in June, so I've still got a little bit of time, but the months go so quickly. So, it's 1.9 kilometers of swimming, and then 90 kilometers of cycling, and then you finish with a 21-kilometer run. So it's just combining the three. But one of the fortunate things of living in a small town is a friend of mine lives on a farm, and she's doing it with me. And they've got a big dam. I know it's not like swimming in the ocean, but we're going to be swimming in the dam, which gives us the distance so that we don't have to go up and down the swimming pool. so it's nice. It's good.
Well, what I love about training for something like that, because like a half Ironman is a big, hairy, audacious goal, and what I love about goals like that is you appreciate, because when someone says like, oh, I want to lose 15 kilos, they don't often appreciate the timeline you're working with when you say something like that. Like, the human body takes time to really sort of settle into itself, but often when you put it in a physical performance sort of thing, you appreciate like you're training now in September for something you plan on doing in June, because you appreciate like, if I want to do this properly, I need to invest the time it's going to take to get my body there. And I appreciate that aspect of things.
Yeah, absolutely. And the mindset aspect, I said to my husband, if I'm going to do this, I want to do it well. And I don't want to, the week or two before the event, feel like I'm not ready, I'm not prepared. So we've got obviously a plan that I'm working according to, and doing a triathlon or two, and then the mid-mile as well. So just to be mentally strong as well. Physically, I know I'm going to have to put in the hours, I'm going to have to do the training. But for me, it's as much a mindset and a mental challenge as it is physical. So I need to focus up here as well, or on the mindset.
Your body will not go anywhere your mind has not already gone already. Something like telling myself. So like, if you have it here, the body will go along with it. The body will just kick into action. You gotta have it here first, though.
Absolutely, and that's what I was thinking the other day. I was on a run and I was tired, and I was thinking, it's just my mind telling me that my body can go on. So I just keep telling myself, you can give 40% more, and I'm almost done. I can rest when I'm done. and have my little after post run treat, and and then just keep going. And it's absolutely a case of just convincing your mind.
It's all in the mind. I find that's where a lot of us don't appreciate enough. I find for me it's I'm able to put myself through a lot more when I'm mentally focused on, like, no, man, you know why you're doing this, just go through it. I know it's hard right now, I know it hurts, I know it's uncomfortable, but like, because you're mentally in it, it's sort of like, I don't know, you're able to pull more out of yourself when you're mentally determined to get there. And it's that sort of thing we're encouraging people to do now with the promo we have now, how we're talking about 2022 already. It's just invest the time in getting mentally prepared to see yourself to that big, hairy, audacious goal.
Absolutely. And if you can I always say to my clients, or someone who wants to sign up and they say, but now is going to be a busy time, then I say, but if you can get through being on the one-on-one and it being a busy time, because it's never going to be a perfect time to invest in your health. If you can get through this and it's being a busy time, then you've won half the battle. Then you can do this in any situation, which is, I was thinking now, you said, if you're at the airline and someone makes a little bit of small talk, all of that is in your mind, and all of that you're saying to yourself, and like, am I being too rude? Am I being too kind? It's all in your mind. And the same as with working out and exercise and eating right. It's half of the battle, or more than the battle, is in your mind that you need to overpower.
100%. Can you believe it is 1:00 already and we have run out of time? But Mel, this was absolutely amazing. Absolutely love talking with you. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. There were a couple questions and comments that popped in. We will hop into the comment section later and address all of those. But Mel, if you could leave us with your last parting words, what would they be?
Get ready for 2022 by making the choice now. And
boom! Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks, guys, for watching. Mel, thank you again for joining the show. Hope to have you back on soon. And everyone, enjoy your fake Thursday. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.